All right, let's get a little bit into how we hear. I'm not going to go in depth on this video. However, I do go in depth in class. But we have three main parts of our ear. We have the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. I will have a picture posted here. The outer ear, its main job is to absorb sound. If you've got big ears that go out, you hear better than the rest of us. So don't let anybody make fun of you because you have better hearing than they do. Okay, but this basically takes the sound and shoves it into our ear. Then you have the eardrum, and we all know about our eardrum. We've heard about our eardrums. You get sick, you get fluid, and you get ear infection, and it's right there at the eardrum. But it moves back and forth with pressure and with the sound. And then once it does that, it moves to the middle ear, and the sound moves, and there is three little bones in there that move back and forth and back and forth and back and forth over to the oval window, which connects the ear now to the inner ear where the cochlea is. And it's like a shell-shaped piece, and it is electrical movements and water in there. And so the movement of this pushes the oval window, which makes the water go wee, wee, wee. And the hairs inside the ear pick up different frequencies, which then sends those sounds to the brain. It's such a cool thing to me how we hear, because we hear in split seconds. And it has to go through all this process to do sound. So it's really, really cool. Along with that though, just like cars, if you got something that's got a lot of parts to it, moving parts to it, something might break. And so hearing loss can be in a variety of areas, from the outer ear, middle ear, to inner ear. People are born without a pinna. I knew a gentleman who had no outer ear. And scientists has actually created where they're now 3D printing ears. And then they take some of the skin, the stem cell, and grow skin on top of it, and then they attach it. It's really cool. It's a really cool new science thing. They used to grow them on the back of rats as well. I don't know if they're still doing that, but they used to grow ears on the back of rats. It was really weird looking. Look it up if you've not seen it. So to fix that, kids will have ear infections time and time again, which will cause hearing loss because they get scar tissue. So that can mess up. Or you can blow your eardrum completely out. That'll cause a hearing loss. A lot of older people get hearing loss because those three bones in there, the malleus, the incus, and the stapes, I'm trying to remember what everyday people call it. The hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup. I learned the medical and I can never remember the other. But those get moving, and what happens is they get essentially rust. They get calcium buildup on them, so they can't move as well. We've seen all mechanical parts, if they get rust on them, they just don't move as well. And that can cause a hearing loss. The cochlea cannot be working correctly and not getting the electrical pulses to the brain. The brain stem that takes, or the brain that takes the information and it's doing all the synaptics, may not take the sound and process it correctly. So there are so many parts that can cause an issue. Some of these things they have technology for, like I was talking about. They can grow an outer ear. They can actually put in new little bones. And then they can do what they call a cochlear implant. I've worked with a lot of students who have had implants. I had one student who, poor baby, went through 3 different implants because they kept dying in his head. That was fairly early on in the technology of cochlear implants. They have gotten better. The sound has gotten better. It used to be really robotic sounding. Now it's a little bit better sounding. But it helps them hear because they replaces the cochlea, that little shell piece with the electrical. They go in and they put electrical wiring essentially into that section of the ear, and it does the processing. It bypasses everything else and goes right to that electrical circuit that's been placed into the ear. It is controversial in the deaf community. Some people say it's fine, do what you want to do with it, you're still deaf. Some deaf community people say stay deaf, you get an implant, you lose your deafness, you lose your identity. And it's quite a debate in the deaf culture, but it's here to stay. So the cochlear implant is quite interesting. The technology has advanced, and it's really cool. But how we hear is really unique. Now in class, I do go more in depth with the ear. But there you have it for a short snippet.